Hello everyone. Now we are doing an activity named as participating in a debate. We have two topics named as private job versus government jobs. Here we go.
Talking about our topic, which is private job, we'll be talking about the boons of the private job. So I feel that private job are the best. As in private job, we always need to keep up with the technology, keep up with the new things coming in the world, and also we have to grow with them.
Also adding to this, there are a lot of opportunities in private sector, and also talking about salaries are also good for those who are good in particular skills. So private jobs are for those who deserves to be in private sector and who wants to explore himself in a complete world and want to develop himself and grow himself.
Point. Yes, private job definitely is an important sector. It helps us to increase in our own pace, and we have to constantly run and fight for our particular position. So it's very necessary for us.
Plus, decision making is also very much easy in private sector, and private sector contributes most to the economy of any particular country.
Talking about government jobs, it is one of the jobs where you need to develop your skill fully. Overall development is needed. You can't work here with your pace, and for overall development and running with the pace of world, government job is very necessary as it is root of our job system. So I think government jobs are best if you want to interfere the system and work with the system.
And government job people get weekly holidays, even they get government new schemes, facilities.
Government job don't limit the time. They gives personal space to the people who need it and whenever they need, like holidays, Diwali holidays or some vacations also.
Now, speaking about, as you said, private job allows you to work on your own pace. But I think if you work on your pace, the things might get lagged, or you will keep yourself distant from the whole world. Where in government job, if you work with government space or world space, you can succeed in achieving your goal very, very early.
You might have heard that decisions have been delayed which are taken by government. Talking about it might be about parliament, or it can be any small decision. Why is it happening that decisions are being delayed in government?
Because as we all know, decision making takes time, and if it take time to make the decision can be implemented very clearly and thoughtfully, and it will be liable for all the persons in entire country. Because one decision in government job can affect lakh and crores of people.
Don't you think seeing social, if we see social cause and not seeing economic cause can decline the economy of any particular country? As giving example, if we talk about America and India, if we compare both of the countries, we can see the growth of both the countries economically wise. As we see, America is a country which is completely dependent on the private sector, and it is growing very fast. Its economy is going very fast. Why is this happening?
But as per the news you have read currently, you can say that private sector is controlling America, and that's why more Indians are getting job there, and Indians are moving out there. But in recent, some leaders have told that America forced, so they are going to prioritize government over private jobs, which is coming that concept now. But in India, it's from starting that government is always above any sector. And this interference has led to many successful projects in our entire country. That is going to affect long-term benefits to India, and now that concept is starting to grow in America itself.
Talking about the projects, as you mentioned now, you are saying that government, just due to government of has been participating in successful
No,
projects.
I'm not telling.
But
Only through government jobs you are getting succeeded.
But talking about the project, the majority of the contribution is just about the private sector, we can say. Because government job wholly or solely can't do anything. They always need the help of a private sector or any private community which would be helping them. The idea is just of government, but the implementation of idea, everything behind that project is done by the private sector.
Even if you're saying that government job is best, then why is this happening in India? That Indian government itself is focusing on private.
Exactly, as she said that any sole sector can't do the thing. private sector also needs a government sector because permissions are needed, verification is needed, everything is needed.
So don't you think due to all these permissions, decisions and everything, that particular job at that particular startup may get started, it can be delayed, that project can be delayed and it can be harmful for future
The
generations?
thinking about harmfulness has gone very, means like it is have a mindset that if private jobs are there, you can it's good rather than government job.
In countering your point, the point you mentioned about the deadlines, government keep constantly pushing the deadlines away from the particular deadline that should be met. In private sector, we have to complete deadline or else you will
Yeah.
be kicked out from the company. So you have to work on the same and meet the deadline. So you will constantly increase your pace. You will increase the pace. You have to be there. You have to improve yourself to be in that sector. So government also gives all the big projects to the private companies in order to complete the deadlines because they are getting lazy because they are, as
If
you
you are-
said,
But doing job in government will be helpful for country only, na?
How can because being a private sector, being in private sector, we are also helping for country as
Yeah,
well.
we are
We are not doing for us.
Not for a country.
Plus, as you mentioned earlier, that government jobs gives luxurious life, many facilities, and etc. etc. So, don't you think this make people or that particular individual lazy and thinking that I have job security, I have everything, and I can delay my work and I can do anything I want, and I can delay the decisions which are most important, which can be most important for country, for social being. So, all those decisions have been delayed because of the laziness of that particular individual. Don't you think it is harmful for the country?
But the delayed, but the vacations they were provided with, provide them to think more, and the time taken from them will implement or improve their ideas to work on. They are not making them lazy. They are giving them time to think and to do.
And what do you think about corruption? Don't you think corruption is more? It is happening more in the government sector than private sector because there is no chance of being getting corrupted in the private sector as companies started by a particular individual and has been grown by a particular individual.
Countering to your point, I'm very glad to tell that recently, over the period of time, India has registered most number of unicorn startups, and this corruption thing has gone very down. And many more private sectors or private companies are trying to nationalize their company. That is bringing them under the government for regulations, implementation of direct paying network, online paying can be directly implemented into their accounts. They can be nationalized for and contributing more to GDP for their own company. So, how would you describe this scenario?
Okay, concluding to the points, I think private sector is most important sector to be there in any country because it boosts that particular country's economy as well as it helps in growing of individuals growth and it can lead to exploration of the whole world.
Concluding to our point, I feel that government jobs are now being testified and they result in overall development of a person rather than earlier. And if you are in government job, you can directly interfere the system and control the system by yourself for good of millions and millions of people.